Welcome to the Sky Blue Review. The Sky Blues opened February with a wonderful win away at Swansea City, taking the lead after just 4 minutes. Victor Torp winning the ball in midfield, finding Haji Wright on the edge of the box, and the American striker forced the ball home with an excellent finish. Wright, who's been in excellent form this season so far for the Sky Blues, managed to capitalise on some sloppy defending before finishing with his right foot past the keeper. Torp won the ball in midfield, but there was a huge gap for him to play the ball through. Wright kept on side, took a touch, steadied himself before firing past the keeper to make it 1-0. City taking the lead in Wales very early on in this game, and it wasn't until the end of the first half where the Sky Blues managed to convert their second chance of the game. Tavares finding Sakamoto at the back post, he unselfishly squared it for Wright to make it 2 and get his second of the game. The Sky Blues were really pushing this game, they were pressing from the off and Swansea City could not deal with their wing play at all. Tavares cutting in on his right foot, found Sakamoto at the back post who squared it really unselfishly for Haji Wright to finish. The defence was just way off, leaving Sakamoto and Wright with the whole run of the penalty area to make it 2-0. The second half continued much the same vein of form, with the Sky Blues taking the lead, further in their lead 3-0, with Tavares once again on hand, finding Sakamoto, and Sakamoto finished with aplomb past the Swansea keeper. Tavares brought into the squad due to fatigue from some of the other players, setting up his fellow winger with a lovely square ball. The City faithful going crazy in the crowd as Wright fed through for Tavares. Tavares just put it on a plate and Sakamoto said thank you very much to make it 3 just after the half-time break. Once again, Swansea just didn't keep up with the wing play at all. Sky Blues got in behind way too easily and the Japanese winger made it 3-0. A few minutes later, Swansea tried to mount an attack but made a mistake and Sakamoto put it on a plate. Haji Wright finished with the goal of the day to get his hat-trick, lobbing the keeper, making it look so easy. The Swansea City defence at 6s and 7s again had no idea how to cope with Coventry's attack, and as they pushed forward, Sakamoto intercepted, fed Wright, whose first touch dinked it over the keeper from the edge of the box. Wright, in superb confident form, got his hat-trick before the hour mark, and the Swansea keeper was left to watch it sail over his head and make it 4-0. Haji Wright hat-trick. In the dying embers of the game, the Sky Blues kept pushing forward with Van Eyck pushing on, and he hit the bar from about 30 yards out. The Dutch wing-back was in excellent form in this game, pressing forward, cutting inside, and he hit this one first time, and unfortunately for the Sky Blues, it ended up hitting the crossbar and not nestling in the top corner. Nearly a goal of the season for the wing-back, but he had to do without. The Sky Blues then travelled to Wimbledon in the FA Cup, with Sakamoto again getting an early chance as he cut in on his left foot, blazing the ball over just before half time. The League 2 side were giving Coventry City some problems at the back, but Coventry had their chances but couldn't find the winner. 71st minute of the game, the Sky Blues once again pushing on with Brandon Thomas Asante, finding Mason Clark on the left hand side. He put it for a square for Ellis Sims. Sims could only hit it straight at the keeper. This was a story of the Sky Blues day, especially for Ellis Sims as he struggled to break the deadlock. Later in the game, just before full time, Van Eyck broke really nicely from right back, fed the ball into Sakamoto, who then saw Thomas Asante on the corner. He then fed Sims, who again had his shot well saved by the keeper. It was a poor effort from Ellis Sims, who's been scoring for fun this season. As we went into extra time, AFC Wimbledon had an excellent chance with the free kick about 40 yards out. They laid it off. A long range shot found Brad Collins with an easy save, and the custodian managed to spring the counter attack really quickly with Fabio Tavares finding Thomas Asante, and he and Haji Wright had lots of space as Asante pulled it across and Wright could prod home for the only goal of the game. The Sky Blues progressed through in the FA Cup to face Leicester City in the next round, but they made a big meal of this one, and AFC Wimbledon had a great chance of a giant killing. The Sky Blues fans travelled in numbers, but the performance was not what you'd expect from a championship side, especially one who are pushing for promotion. Thomas Asante waited for the keeper to come out, found his strike partner in oceans of space, and the Sky Blues managed to convert. It took them 107 minutes, and in the last minute of the game, AFC Wimbledon had an excellent chance to tie the score up. Playing out from the back in the very last minute of the game, Kelly held the ball up in midfield, found Tilly, and they managed to spring the ball through the back line of Coventry City. Louis Binks just couldn't keep up with him, but thankfully Stephen's shot was well saved by Collins and Van Avac could clear, and the Sky Blues will progress to the next round of the FA Cup. Back to league action and back to the CBS, where Coventry hosted Queen's Park Rangers. It started well for Coventry with Brendan Thomas Asante pushing on. His shot just going over the bar just after 4 minutes. Early action carried on with Coventry in the ascendancy. Van Avac pushing through, found Sakamoto on the edge of the box. Sakamoto launched the ball to the back stick. The Silver was there to lay on Haji Wright, but unfortunately the Sky Blues just couldn't get the ball past the QPR goalkeeper. They kept the ball alive with Rudoni finding the ball on the edge of the box. Jada Silva pushed forward, and the Sky Blues managed to maintain possession and create another excellent chance with Sakamoto lifting it to the back post, but Haji Wright could only head wide. It was all Coventry for the first 10 minutes of the game, and Coventry struggled to secure a goal, which they will come to regret in the near future. The header from Haji Wright was very poor, and as QPR managed to get a foothold in the game, Smith drove on into the left field, found Sela, whose feet danced away from both defenders, and thankfully Oliver Dovin was there to keep the clean sheet. Sam Field once again found Sela, with QPR growing vastly into the game. Saito bombed on and managed to find his teammate making space, and he wriggled through for Dovin to save once again. The Sky Blues were heavy favourites for this one, and they looked to break on the counter-attack with Thomas Asante feeding it through to Haji Wright. Wright managed to get away from his defence, but Nardi made an excellent save to keep the scores level just before half-time. Straight after the break though, QPR kept the ball from the kick-off and looked to push forward straight away with Sam Field with it. He played an excellent through ball, catching Jada Silva out at left back. Smith pulled the ball back. Selas shot, but thankfully it was well saved once again by Dovin. Dovin was man of the match for Coventry City in this game, making some vital saves. As the game wore on, QPR looked more and more confident, with Smith holding the ball up in midfield, finding Heverton. Heverton found Colback, and QPR could look through once again. Anderson with a driving run fed the ball wide to Sato. Sato cut back for Sela, and Sela bent it into the top corner with aplomb for one of the best goals we've seen from the opposition in this save so far. Sela was given a lot of space on the edge of the box. He danced inside, and whilst Binks tried to block him down, the striker managed to curl it into the top right hand corner with aplomb. The striker opened his body up and found the very top corner of the goal. He couldn't have hit it better. And despite Dovin having an excellent game up until this point, he had absolutely no chance with the QPR goal. Fantastic finish from the striker and a well-deserved lead for the Hoops. Coventry tried to get themselves back in the game with Thomas Asante pushing onwards. Sakamoto just outside him with the cross. He cuts it back to Thomas Asante, back to Rudoni. Rudoni shapes to shoot, and it's well saved by the QPR goalkeeper once again, and the ball drops wide. Coventry didn't really get going in this game until they went behind, and Tavares, who's been excellent in the last couple of games, came off the bench to try and inject some pace on the right hand side. And the forward did well to drive to the byline, lifted the ball back, but unfortunately Coventry just couldn't get anywhere near it, and QPR managed to break. Smith found Sato once again, and as they looked forward for a goal, Coventry City were left a bit bare at the back with Kenneth Paul pushing into midfield. It left a huge gap at the right back position. Sela was left with the oceans of space in the penalty area. Found the corner once more, but unfortunately for him, he was flagged offside by the linesman. Excellent play by Anderson. Poor defending by the Sky Blues left him with the oceans of space, and he was just flagged offside. As the game wore on, Coventry kept pressing, and Haji Wright had a great chance to score as he got through on goal, but was bundled off the ball by Clark Salter, and he couldn't sort his feet out to get the shot away. The Sky Blues would go on to lose their first game of at the CBS this season, before travelling to Hillsborough, where they look to get their promotion campaign back on track. Sheffield Wednesday were having a poor season so far and they gave the ball away immediately. Brandon Thomas Asante found so much space at the back and the striker made no mistake finishing past Beadle to make it 1-0 within just 2 minutes of the game. Wednesday had pushed up a lot of players into the attack straight from the kickoff, but thankfully the Sky Blues managed to convert when against QPR they really struggled with their chances. Thomas Asante got the ball out of his feet, fired past the keeper and gave the Sky Blues an early lead. What their defence was doing I don't know, and their last man was just playing the whole world onside, and Asante managed to capitalise to give Coventry City a 1-0 lead. As they approached the half-hour mark, both teams were going to push forwards, but it was Coventry who managed to bomb on again with Asante finding Haji Wright. Wright took a touch, spun and fired past Beadle to make it 2. Sheffield Wednesday had some good chances to get back into the game and Coventry managed to capitalise on their poor defending once more to get that 2-0 lead. Brandon Thomas Asante, great ball in, good feet by Haji Wright who had picked up a knock and fired into the corner. Keeper had no chance, pure power from the American striker. As Coventry looked to secure their win, Mason Clark was caught in the possession just on the edge of the box. Musaba played Ugbo through and his shot was drilled under Dovin and deflected up and into the goal. It's a poor goal to concede from Coventry. Mason Clark caught in possession when he should really have just cleared his lines. But they're great form by Musaba to turn it around. Ugbo's shot got lucky by the way it bounced, but Latibodiere was nowhere near it to clear it off the line. And Sheffield Wednesday had a lifeline. Dovin made himself big, got a big block on it, but unfortunately the ball just bounced in instead of over. And the Sky Blues had to make sure that they held on for their 2-1 lead. 70th minute of the game, Wednesday had a great chance to equalise. As the ball was flicked on, Dovin fumbled his save and Carrillo managed to volley it home. But he was also flagged offside. Twice in 2 games now Coventry have survived a disallowed goal. The flick on did have him offside, but the keeper should have done better with his claim here as he pushed it straight back to the striker and the striker finished. But thankfully Coventry were flagged and it was all good as the Sky Blues maintained their 2-1 lead. With 20 minutes of the game to play, the Sky Blues playing out from the back, looking confident, but a poor giveaway by Latibodiere put them under pressure once again. Jamal Lowe on the left hand side for Sheffield Wednesday was a constant thorn in the side. Managed to dance away from Van Avac. Played a beautiful cross in. Carrillo was there and it was a good save by Dovin once again. The Sky Blues were relying a lot on their keeper in the last few games as Deshaun Bernard looked to push the ball back in. Chalobah and Lowe once more combining really nicely and Lowe absolutely did Van Avac. He's a player that we'd love to sign maybe to stop him doing that against us. In the last minute of the game, Sheffield Wednesday had a free kick, lumped it forward, but thankfully Mason Clark secured the clearance this time. The Sky Blues managed to break with Ellis Sims and Thomas Asante pushing away. Sakamoto made some space, but it was Asante who was played through, and Asante managed to rifle the ball home for a 3-1 victory at Hillsborough. Wednesday had committed so many players forward for their attack from their free kick that they had to keep going to try and get the equaliser, and the Sky Blues used their pace to hit them back on the break. A lovely through ball by Ellis Sims. Asante scored his second in 2 games as he volleyed the ball across and give the Coventry City faithful something to bring back from Hillsborough with a 3-1 victory against Wednesday. The Sky Blues then hosted Preston North End. Preston, who Coventry City haven't beaten in God knows how long, were on the attack straight away with Kessler Hayden lifting the ball to the back post. Van Avac cleared, but Sakamoto's headed clearance didn't get far. Preston were a constant threat in this game and pressed really high, and Louis Binks gave the ball away. Kessler Hayden won it through, Will Keane squares it, and Imelda Reese managed to finish with a plum across the keeper. A poor goal for the Sky Blues to concede as they were in possession. Binks finding his pass intercepted and Coventry City find themselves 1-0 down for the second time in 2 games at the CBS Arena. Having gone behind against QPR quite late into the game, this time an early lead for Preston North End. Great work by Will Keane, Latibodio playing everyone on side, and Reese could fire past Dovin, and Fabregas had a massive tantrum because the defending just wasn't good enough. Approaching half-time, the Sky Blues looked a bit more confident on the ball, with Mason Clark driving forward, found Haji Wright on the edge of the box. Wright played it back to Sheaf, and Coventry started looking like they could build something with Van Avac into Redoni. Redoni found Wright, who chopped inside, took another touch and buried it into the top corner at the near post past Freddie Woodman. Wright, who's been in excellent form this month, scored another goal, and he rescued an equaliser for the Sky Blues, who were slowly building. Preston North End, a massive bogey side for the Sky Blues, as we all know, and he cut back inside, smashed the ball home at the near post. Coventry City, looking to not lose 2 consecutive home games after losing to QPR last time out, found an equaliser this time, and Haji Wright and the boys celebrated. Just after half time, the Sky Blues had a free kick, which they managed to convert into a decent chance. Jack Redoni, who had been fouled in the build-up, found Sakamoto, who bundled the ball through, but a save by Woodman managed to keep Preston in it. Redoni, who would have to later go off the field due to an injury, made that chance, and he was looking very exciting in the midfield. Woodman had kept Preston in it, and with 2 minutes to go, it looked like Preston had a chance to actually win the game before Victor Torp took over and found Brandon Thomas Asante. Asante looked for Ellis Sims through the middle. Sims tried to race onto it, but it was Woodman who gathered, and the game would end with a point each. Disappointing to not beat Preston once again, but getting back to not losing 2 consecutive home games was really important for the Sky Blues. The final game of the month saw Coventry City hosting Leeds United. Leeds, who were third place with Coventry in second, were 11 points behind the Sky Blues at kick-off. Coventry knew that if they avoided defeat, they would hold on to an excellent chance of promotion. From the off, the Sky Blues looked confident in the ball, but they were a little too confident as Van Avac played the ball back. Latibodio looked for the pass forward, and it was intercepted by Manuel Solomon, who found Aronson, and Patrick Bamford pushed forward. Bamford and Sheaf had it coming together, and as Sheaf tried to bring the ball away, Bamford dived in on the Coventry City captain and was rightfully booked after just 3 minutes of the game. Coventry looking to play out from the back, causing their own problems once again, with Latibodia and Binks giving balls away in the last 2 games, and this one thankfully they weren't penalised for, but Bamford did pick up a yellow card. Just minutes later, Bamford was again a threat as he found Solomon, and Adingra on the left hand side played Schmidt in. Schmidt looked back, and whilst Van Avac did have the ball, he gave it away to Solomon. Bamford found his feet, and Dovin saved very well at the near post. Leeds were causing a constant threat to Coventry from the off, and a corner came in from Solomon, which was headed just wide by Max Vober. The Leeds United captain had a great chance there to give them the lead, and unfortunately for him, he headed just wide. Van Avac started to press forward, and as he found Brandon Thomas Asante through with a one-on-one, the striker could not finish this time. After scoring in the last minute against Sheffield Wednesday 2 games ago, Asante was in confident form, but the striker fired just wide when through one-on-one with Ilan Meslier. In injury time in the first half, Coventry again looked dominant on the ball. Torp pushing forward through centre midfield, filling in for the injured Redoni, but the Danish midfielder couldn't convert, and Meslier finally managed to bundle the ball away as the sides went in 0-0 at half time. Sky Blues were looking to keep a clean sheet and keep Leeds at bay and keep that 11-point gap, but it was Adingra driving forward who made Leeds look very dangerous. Aronson played a lovely through ball from Manuel Solomon, and whilst Latibodia got a foot in, the Israeli winger powered it wide. Ellis Sims tried to work his magic for Sky Blues, but gave the ball away in midfield with just 10 minutes to go. Joel Perreault carried it forward, and whilst Binks and him tried to have a little battle, Matty James managed to bomb through, fired just wide. Fired just wide. The result was a 0-0 draw, and that played more into Coventry's hands than Leeds, as they managed to maintain their 11-point gap. They're 12 points clear of Middlesbrough in 4th, with 12 games to go. The Sky Blues looking good for promotion. Burnley pull 5 points clear at the top, and they look likely to win the league this year. Busy March coming up. Leicester City at home in the Cup and Sheffield United away in the league are the two big draws. Join us next time for another Coventry City update. We would appreciate you watching. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like, and if you're enjoying this series, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.